thing I know about Jason is that he does not care about spoilers.
I love spoilers. I love to give them to people.
All you do, and as a person who hates spoilers, you love throwing them in my face.
I'll try to ask you questions to see like what can I say to you? What's the line that I can go up to? I get so much satisfaction out of telling people things for the first time.
My mom and dad are like, I don't know if it's an Indian thing or it's just my mom and dad thing, but they spoil the shit out of everything. You love the game Zelda, I know. I was gonna get the game Zelda for Christmas. My sister was whispering to my dad what she got me. And he just goes, Zelda? And it's like, when you're whispering a Christmas gift, you just can't say the whole gift out loud, even if you don't know what the word is. You just kind of...
telephone.
Yeah. So that was... I didn't get Zelda then. And then the second thing is any movie where it'll just be like, and here's what happens. Or no, you should watch this movie. It's great. I'm like, cool. I'll watch it. So the story is, don't worry, I won't give it away. And then she gives it all away. And then then the classic line at the end is, you weren't going to watch it anyways. What?
I opened with, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I don't have a track record for that shit.
What I'll say is, listen, I'm going to tell you something. It's awesome. It doesn't ruin anything, and I won't even be specific about it.
Jason will literally tee it up, be like, hey, have you seen the new Star Wars movie? No. Okay, and then just like go into it.
Dude, it's a bigger Death Star.
Yeah.
Alright, so we can spoil Westworld for you. I couldn't even spoil it. I don't actually know what the fuck is going on in the show, but it's a good show. It's basically...
So for the fans, what is it?
For the fans. For you and the fans. So the premise of the show is basically Westworld is like this is my understanding. Tyler knows more because he's smarter than me, and he's also seen like the original movie it's based off of, so I'll give you what I think is going on as just a person watching the show for the first time. So it's basically like a Disney World or like a Jurassic Park that you can go to. So there's this world where you can go, and basically you kind of go on the ride, and the ride is basically you're dropped in like the Wild Wild West, essentially. It looks like the Wild West. And there's all these other characters walking around, but the characters are not like Disney World where you've got a giant Mickey Mouse head or something like that. They just look like humans. They're artificial intelligence. They're robots, basically. And so you are like you walk into this world, and this really attractive girl will come talk to you at the saloon, and she'll sleep with you because she's a robot that you could never tell because they've gotten it to the point where AI and robots are so believable.
Passes the Turing test.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking to this girl, and she's saying all the things that she knows you want to hear, and she knows that you don't just want to hear all the things you want. You also want to hear some other things. So the AI is that good, basically. That's the idea. Nice. And so you're seeing the behind the curtains. You're seeing part of it is like you're watching people go through the world where there's like this storyline plays out, right? Like you're walking by and you see this thing on the wall that says "Wanted." This dude who like is wanted for murder. And then sure enough in the park, he'll come back into town and there'll be a shootout, but like you can't die and you can kill them, but you can't get killed. You can't be hurt. And so you kind of know it's fake because you know you're safe, but like it feels so real that like whatever, like I kind of, the excitement's still there. So you see that, and then you see the company that's basically like, that hosts this world, the game makers basically. And then also there's like this hint of like, wait a minute, they're getting smarter than they realize, they're starting to realize that something's not quite right, the AI. The AI is starting to realize something's not quite right about their world. And so maybe, or something. Right. Like they're starting to do some things that they were not programmed to do. And it's just like, okay, it's kind of that same old story of like the robots wake up and like want to kill us or like take control of their own lives. But it's not the cheesy iRobot Will Smith version of that. It's like a really good, cool version of that. So, are you sold or are you not sold?
Oh, I'm so sold.
Yeah, like tonight you're gonna watch this show.
What that makes me think of is like this topic has been explored in anime in a lot of ways, where you have the virtual reality world and people go, like there's a show called Sword Art Online where it's a massively multiplayer game. The beta comes out, all the hardcore gamers want to get it. They get the system, they put on the virtual reality helmet, they go in the game. It's like an RPG. They're gonna go kill people with swords. But then everyone finds out that if you die in the game, a microwave turns on in the virtual reality headset and kills you. And if you try to take off the headset, it also activates. And the only way you can get out of the game is you got to beat all 100 levels of the game. And so you end up seeing how do people behave in this. Like you have some people are trolls and they murder people. Some people are like, fuck this, I'm gonna go fish over at that amazing paradise over there. Because like, and some people are like, well, I'm like a big, strong, sexy guy now. I'm just gonna like, you know.
I want to live here.
Yeah, I want to be here. I want to avoid conflict. And like, 3 years go by. Anyway, so point is, there's also like Johnny Quest, which had Quest World, and like other cartoons have done this, I like that it's becoming more mainstream to explore virtual reality, sci-fi. Seems like the public is ready for it.
We're also getting to a place where we actually can explore it in a sophisticated way. Like, the public's ready for it, but we have the technology to be able to do this now. Westworld's, yeah, the first Westworld was this movie in the 80s, and it was written and directed by Michael Crichton, the guy who created Jurassic Park. It's like, for the time, it's super compelling, but, like, it's not gonna hold up now. It's like the same as Tron. Like, you can't watch Tron now. It looks super janky.
It doesn't hold up.
And so Westworld now, like, Westworld to me is like the best of science fiction, which I think we're maybe entering into the golden era of science fiction now, where, like, anyone...
Is that a bold prediction?
Yeah.
Called it here?
It's happening here first. Because I think I could go to just about anyone at this point and say, like, okay, have you seen Westworld, or Ex Machina, or Arrival, or Star Wars maybe, but, like, any of these things that are starting to become popular, and there's probably a good chance you've seen at least one of those, and then that's now your entry point to want to see more of it. Westworld is like the best example of all of those, which is I think why you like it and why Jason would like it. It's like, it's conspiracy, it's a different world, it questions our reality, and then it also questions our humanity, and you're like, oh, okay. And all that it does, like, this is literally how good the show is. In the first episode, there's just a character who, like, the guy, one of the protagonists of this show is walking into Westworld, and when you do it, you go through this kind of like Batman arsenal gearing up process, and you get your guns, and your pants, and your hat. And the woman who's helping him do all of this, he goes like, she basically says, you know, if you want to sleep with me, you can sleep with me. And she starts making a move on him, and he stops.
She's just a smoking hot attendant. But this is pre-going into Westworld, right? So it's like in the waiting
It's in this
zone.
facility, yeah, where you get prepared to go into Westworld, and he kind of catches on. He's like, wait, are you one of them?
Marty, yeah.
And she literally just calls it out, and she's like, if you can't tell, what difference does it make?
Yeah, does it matter?
And that's all that happens, and then every single person I've seen watch that scene just goes, like, okay, yep, I get it, I'm in on the concept.
Yeah.
And then now, that would make you question, sort of like the Matrix did back in the day, like, wait a minute, if they're in a fake reality, am I in a fake reality?
What I hope happens is a whole bunch of writers and producers see that, and they start asking new questions, and they start thinking, okay, I'm going to start thinking about these questions in terms of content, and I'm going to try to explore these themes in other ways.
Well, here's the thing. I think these stories and ideas have been around forever. The production quality of this show is just amazing. That's the difference. The budget of this show is so high. It's so well made. It's so well told. It's on HBO. It's like, it's got everything to make a great show out of like not a new idea necessarily. I think that's what's the coolest part. But I was going to say, I feel like you're giving a lot more credit to people than, I don't think most people have seen Ex Machina or Westworld or anything, right? Like, I think people watch Bob's Burgers and like, that's where people are at.
There is the mass audience, there's the general audiences, which go see Transformers and Star Trek and
what
stuff
you're saying
like
is like somebody who doesn't work in AI or think about AI, but like likes to watch stuff on Netflix. Like, now they're getting it too, you know?
There's that plus the element of, you said, we've explored these things have been around for a long time. Yeah. These themes have been around for thousands of years even, of like, what is our reality? Who are we? I think we've kind of, this might be another bold prediction, but we're sort of post-religion at this point. Like, we understand what a religion is, and a lot of the world is starting to kind of unwind out of religion now, at least in the
West.
You know, way old Greece, Egypt, Dark Ages version of religion, which is like, you have a god, you don't question that god, and we're all kind of figuring out what spirituality and all that stuff is, and we have science now, so science helps with that. And because of that, the theme used to be, well, we don't know where we came from. We have, is it real on top of us versus what happens if we do bad things below us? And we represented that with literally heaven and hell. And then now it's like, okay, well, we shot a rocket into space, and it turns out heaven isn't there, and also we dug to the core of the planet, and it turns out hell isn't there. So like, we know those don't exist. Now we're taking it to like the next level. What is the next level? The next level isn't just heaven exists like many millions of light years away, or hell exists further in the planet or something like that. It's literally like, what are other dimensions we explore? What is like, and that's how you end up talking about reality and virtual reality as if it's like, we are now gods creating a virtual world. Are we even the gods of this world? Is someone else creating us? That's just the next level of it. And at some point in 1,000 years, we will have explored those concepts, and we have proven we can create virtual reality. And we are in a simulation, which I know Sean likes talking about this simulation theory.
Yeah, I mean, you just what was that phrase you had once? Tyler just played 9-dimensional chess.
Oh yeah, 11-dimensional chess. Yeah. Well, that's a, you know, that term came from like progressive bloggers would sort of like call conspiracies that conservative bloggers would throw at Obama, and they would say like, oh yes, of course, like that thing that Obama just did, he's playing 11-dimensional chess. Like the reason why he did that thing over there was to do that, to do that, to do that, which then got you.
Tyler just went from like Westworld's a dope show to like we're post-religion, we're also post-reality. Also, we've like explored the core of the earth. And,
are we gods?
Yeah, and we're either gods or we're the pawn of other gods, like somewhere else. Yeah. Well, we'll play it.
Thank you.
Well,
That's my move for now.
This is going to be the new thing where like your uncle at Thanksgiving is going to bring this topic up, like how about AI? Whereas a year ago it would have been like you would have gotten a blank stare.